Welcome to Window on Well Street, a program that shares information about delayed food sensitivities. Sensitivities that may be causing symptoms like migraine headaches, irritable bowel syndrome, fatigue, stress, and even ADD or ADHD, just to mention a few. I'm Robert Chesney, your host, and in today's program we're going to be focusing on the Immuno Blood Print. Now that's a simple blood test that identifies food sensitivities. These could be the sensitivities that are causing these symptoms. We're so happy to have with us today Dr. Mikkel Parsons, and she joins us from her practice in Fresno, California. Welcome, Dr. Parsons.
Hi.
Dr. Parsons, many of our viewers are concerned about their newborns, and we're finding there's a number of sensitivities that could occur with their babies. Considering the whole process, could you enlighten us with some of your personal experiences?
Probably one of the more common denominators with ear infections, especially if there's reoccurring issues with that, is the food sensitivity component to that. Many kids are having, whether it's gluten or dairy is another very common sensitivity that can trigger an ear infection. Those are things that need to be identified so then they can be addressed appropriately. So when we are eating a food that our body doesn't do well on, the symptom is going to manifest in the weaker link in the system. And for a lot of children, it's their ears, especially as their tubes develop horizontally. They don't start sloping until they get a little bit older. So having a dairy-laden type of diet often promotes a lot of ear problems. So with ear infections, one of the things you need to look at is what are they sensitive to? And the other piece of that is, are they getting too much sugar in general in their diet? Sugar reduces the natural resistance or the innate immune system to fight these things that are around us in our environment. So with ear infections, to me, it's a two-step approach. Is there a sensitivity? And let's look at their diet and see, are they eating too many carbohydrates, too many refined products to cause them to have too much sugar in their body, because these bugs feed off of those types of sugars. So it's very important that you present the foundation, and as they get older and their immune system gets stronger, then at times you're able to reintroduce some of those foods and the ear infections are no longer an issue.
Now, in our research, we're aware of the fact that you're a proponent for sensitivity testing at an early stage. Others wait until, frankly, everything else has failed, then they do testing, but you tend to be proactive and do it first. Could you share with us what age is the proper age for testing a child? And secondly, are there any telltale signs that a parent should be aware of based on your findings?
Boy, there's a lot of them. With a lot of these kids, once they get those ear infections, they're down this slippery slope of constantly being on antibiotics. And that is not something that we want to have happen because of the effects that it has on the intestines. So for one little one in particular, they were having such chronic ear problems that their eardrum actually ruptured. Now that's very painful, and the mom was just devastated that this had happened to her or to her child. So in properly eliminating the sensitivities that we've discovered, making sure this child is eating a well-balanced diet and not drinking a lot of juices, especially if they're little and they're laying down and they have the bottle, that's just going to cause a propensity of ear infections to develop. Then, as their immune system gets stronger, they feel better. You can rebalance the gut through the proper flora and build up their immune system. And so ear infections pretty much are a slam dunk for me to get these kids over the hump and back onto a healthier life.
Clearly, parents are the best judge of what's going on with children. Could you share any telltale signs that they should be looking for?
One of the more common ones, as I mentioned, is the whole dairy issue. So for kids who are having a problem with dairy, we need to look to see where in their diet is dairy so we can plug other things back in. Are they drinking a lot of milk? Are they using milk for cereal? If that's the case, there's a lot of different substitutes. We've got rice milk, we have almond milk, which is one of my favorites. Those are nice substitutes. If they are loving cheese, there is soy cheese, there is rice-based cheese. You can even make almond cheese. There are other cheese alternatives. So they're able to then, once again, pull that food out, put something else back in. But of all of the allergy issues, I would say dairy is probably the most common.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Parsons. And we're going to continue with Window on Well Street after the break. But I want to encourage those of you watching who may have a family member, a friend, or even a coworker who's experiencing similar health issues. Please forward the link from this video to them. They will thank you, believe me. And if you haven't had your immuno blood print, please learn more and get yourself tested. I did, and believe me, it has really made a difference. Remember, there's a hidden link between what you eat and how you feel. I'm Robert Chesney, and we'll be right back with more Window on Well Street.